Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video. I'm going to be talking about a newly shown Hot Toys figure, or fairly newly, being Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars. So I definitely want to talk about this. This was shown quite a while ago. I make no excuses. I've been very busy. I was, when I was shown, I really wanted to make a video, but I was quite overwhelmed with stuff. So I've just getting to it now. I would have usually just skipped it altogether, but this is a figure that's important enough to talk about, so better late than never for this one, at least, in my opinion. So let's get talking about it. So we have Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars. This is a figure that I've been really looking forward to, hoping that they'd make. However, a little cringing on if they would make it because of the style that they're doing the Clone Wars figures in. Just a quick background here as far as these new Hot Toys Clone Wars figures is that the design of these have a lot of people divided. I feel like more people are in the camp that I'm in, but that's maybe just me, for the fact that I am not a big fan of the design that they're going with, because with all of these Clone Wars figures, they're doing the Clone Wars characters, they're taking the same costumes and the, looks of the character, basically just costumes to be honest, but they're just making them live action looking. So for Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're doing them in their Clone Wars costumes, but like movie faces. Now Ahsoka is a strange one because clearly there is not a movie version of her yet. There's strong rumors that she is in The Mandalorian Season 2. Who knows if that's the case? Nevertheless, I think eventually we'll get a live-action version of her, whether it's in a few months or in a few years, who knows. But nonetheless, right now there's no live-action reference to go off of. So they had to kind of take liberties and basically take the design of the character and kind of figure out what she would look like live action. Going over the face sculpt, which obviously represents this, I think it's okay. Like, it's a fine live action version of Ahsoka. I don't have any issue with the design for a live action Ahsoka, but I have an issue with the concept of doing a live action Ahsoka. I think that having a Clone Wars version is what we want, that's the thing that we like. Why would we want it to be altered? It doesn't do any benefit. It just makes it a little strange. So it's disappointing in my opinion. I think it's a fine face sculpt. It's not the face of the character. So it makes it a little annoying, to be honest. I also think that her expression is very standard. They went with something super plain, which I understand. This is Hot Toys' standard thing to do. But with this character, I would have almost liked two face sculpts. Even if you just had the face sculpts and not the full head. Obviously, with the headpiece, there's a clear divide there. You could definitely give her just interchangeable faces. And that would have been awesome, because it would be great to have just kind of a more serious one like this, which would be good for the fight poses and things like that. And then one that's a little more playful, a little more fun, a little smirk, something like that, to show her personality. That would have been nice. And hey, if they wanted to do 3, just give us like a angry one for like really intense fight scenes. That would have been awesome too. So I think they missed an opportunity there. I think that would have been quite nice. Now, getting off the face itself and just going to the rest of the figure, I think it looks awesome. I think it's great. I'm really happy that they went with this version of her costume. I've always liked Ahsoka, but I've never liked her more than in the final season that was, released recently on Disney+. There was, after, like, the 3rd episode or so, the show really started to focus on her, and I was happy with that because I really just enjoyed her character in that season more than I ever have. So I'm glad that they went with this style of costume, the one that she wears in that season. I think it looks great. One thing that's really nice, too, is that because her costume is so kind of skin tight, there's no wrinkles. Like, I feel like with some of the other figures, they've, done the costumes the same design as the show, but they're a little more wrinkled to look more realistic. But this, it's so kind of clean like it is in the show, so I'm really happy about that. I think that it makes her body look more animated to get away from the live action that I'm just not a big fan of. I think that she does look quite good. Also, I think that Articulation looks great because this material for the pants, it looks like a very similar material that they've used in the past that just yields for great articulation. It looks like it really stretches nicely without any issue, and also it's the type of material that bounces back, so whether you have her in an intense pose, if you straighten her leg back out, the material will straighten out too, which is nice. Her top section looks a little bit more rigid, so that can hinder torso articulation. However, that's not a huge portion. I'd rather have good articulation in the legs and arms. Arm articulation wise is a little hit or miss. She uses rubber arms, which is something that I'm disappointed about. Just because of me, I prefer actual joints. The rubber, I think, will wear down and will be an issue later on. So it's not something that's going to last, which, you know, why would I buy a $250 toy that's not going to last? So that bothers me. I understand why they did it. It obviously creates a more clean seam and picture, but as you can see, like even over here, if you use the arm and you actually bend it a lot, you get creases in the rubber, which just looks ugly. So I'm not huge on the fact that they used rubber, but I understand why they did it. But if I had my choice, I'd prefer just to show the joint. The head articulation looks hindered just because of the massive kind of headpiece section. She can't move her head very much at all. So basically you have good range when it comes to shoulders because they're just unhindered. Obviously good in the wrists. The thighs and knees look like they have great articulation. The elbows, torso, and neck have limited articulation. So she's a mixed bag when it comes to articulation. However, I think that the places that she has articulation are good enough because they allow you to do some cool poses. Going over her accessories. She comes with a few things, not a ton, but, you know, I think a good amount. So she comes with a set of hands, set of lightsabers, a small and large one, with interchangeable kind of moving blades for both. She comes with a standard base, a grenade, and then holograms for Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin, which I think are nice. The holograms are live action, not animation, which it would have been cool just to make the holograms animation at least. Like, why not? And then she comes with that kind of the poncho cape thing, which I think looks spectacular. I think that the shots of her wearing that are just so good. I think that it looks super natural. I like the material a lot. It looks like the whole thing's wired. It sits so well on her head when the hood's up. I think that that's an awesome accessory. The only issue I have with it is, like, if I were to get this figure, although I love the look of it, I don't think I'd ever use it, really, because who wants Ahsoka and then to cover up Ahsoka, you know? It's not like she wears that all the time, you know, just basically the final shot of the series finale she wears that in. So although I love it and it's great, I would probably never display her with it, though, which is a little disappointing. But for pictures, it would be really good. Going over some of the specifics for the figure. Estimated release is a year from now, a little over actually. It's October to December of 2021. So the release is pretty standard for Hot Toys. It's not ridiculous like some of their more recent release dates, I feel, but it's fine. The price point is $250, which I think is a little high. I think $250 has kind of become the standard price for a Hot Toys figure nowadays, which I think is too high for Hot Toys. I just don't think that they're quite worth that much for a standard figure anymore. I think that they've really gone up quite a bit. Nonetheless, though, I think this is a cool figure. If it was animated, if the face was animated and it was a good sculpt, I would be all over this. It would be an easy buy. With the fact that the face is live action, that has completely blown me out of actually wanting to buy any of the other ones. However, even with the live action face, I am still wanting this figure, to be honest. So I don't know if I'm actually going to get it. If I had to guess, I probably don't think I'm going to get it in the long run. I think that I'll probably hope that there will be an actual live action version of Ahsoka. You know, what I'll definitely do is I'm definitely going to wait until Season 2 of Mandalorian. If there is a live action Ahsoka, they'll probably have a new figure representing that, so I'll probably go with that one. If there isn't, then that would probably boost my chances of getting this one, to be honest. Haven't decided yet, though. I think it looks like a nice figure. I have issues with the articulation in some areas. I'm not a fan of the rubber arms, and the face sculpt is disappointing for the fact that they went live action, and I think that it really missed a mark by not providing multiple face sculpts, because she could really use them. This is a character that's very expressive, that people really like the personality of, and to have such a dead face as your only option is very disappointing, I think. But there you go, that's my thoughts on the Ahsoka Tano figure from Star Wars The Clone Wars, made from Hot Toys. So again, it came out, or the photos came out quite a while ago. Sorry it took me this long to get to it, but I definitely wanted to mention it here. Real quickly, just going over a little teaser in some of her pictures. As you can see, we have another Clone Wars figure coming, being Darth Maul. I'm excited about that. I am a big Darth Maul fan, I think having the Clone Wars Darth Maul and Ahsoka would have been great, for the fact that, you know, Darth Maul, as you can see, they're doing him live action too. However, it looks like it's a different face sculpt than just their standard movie Darth Maul figure, so I think that they might be, you know, altering it a little bit, but it is definitely live action. I'll be very excited to see that figure too. That one, it's hard to tell because we can see a decent amount of it, but it might be just a little bland. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. Like, I feel like his costume doesn't really translate that well live action from the Clone Wars. I think his costume might just be a little basic, but I'm not sure. It might be cool. So I'm excited to see their interpretation of a live action Clone Wars Darth Maul. I have the DX Darth Maul, and I bought enough pieces to make a secondary one, so I have 2 Darth Mauls basically. I'm considering the Solo one, and maybe I'll get the Clone Wars, I'm not sure. Nonetheless, though, having Ahsoka and Darth Maul to battle each other on your shelf would be epic. But there you go, that's my thoughts on the Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars The Clone Wars. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching.